Before I start this video, I want to preface it that some of the content in here may be triggering to some, and please watch at your own discretion. Hey, so lately I've been seeing a lot of things that are happening in our public school system, and I can see that since I graduated back in 2016, that nothing has changed. I hoped that when I graduated, the years following, things would get better. You know, like the school system would open its eyes to what was going on. I thought I had made a loud enough outcry in school. And I didn't. And neither did the thousands of other students that outcried the same time I did. So let's get into it. So, back when I was in the first grade, I was being, what's the best word to put it? Harassed by another student telling me what he would do to me, how he would do it to me, and how I would like it. This was another first grader. It got so bad that my mom one day brought me to school, and in her GMC van, I had tucked myself back under her back seats, and I was hiding, stating that she was not going to get me into that building, I was not going to go to school, that I did not want to be there. My mom, being the woman she is, she took me by the arms, which she could grab. She pulled me out of her van, and she carried me into that building, screaming and crying, begging for her to bring me back to the car. And she put me down on the ground, and she said, "I want to know why my daughter is crying and does not feel safe here. I want to know what is going on." And that's when I admitted to her that a kid at school was telling me what he was going to do to me, how he was going to do it, and how much I would like it. And so my mom requested for me to be separated from him, put in a different class from him put in a different class, something. I began starting to have nightmares and wetting the bed. My mom brought me into the doctors and suspected that I had a UTI. Mind you, I'm in the first grade. So they did blood work. Doctors suspect that my body was under so much stress, causing me to become a type 1 diabetic. The years following my diagnosis, I was still stuck in a class with this kid for years. And because I was the quiet one and he was the loud one, they would sit us next to each other, putting me into great distress. The boy who was harassing me was found to be going to school in the wrong school district. That he did not live where he said he lived and was transferred. So, fast forward to the third grade, I went on a field trip, and I wanted to be a big kid, and so I asked my mom if I could go without her as a, chaperone. Big mistake, and I learned not to ever do that again. My blood sugar was dropping, and they wanted to give me insulin, and I told them that's not how that worked. And they didn't know what to do, so I had them call my mom. My mom came and picked me up from the field trip to treat the blood sugar. Luckily, everything was fine, but we learned until I was older and people would listen that she would chaperone every field trip from then on out. So one day, a teacher gave me an assignment, and This was when I was pulled out to go into the 504 room because I needed longer to do things than other students. The teacher began to bark orders at me, and I was not having it, so I completely shut down. I just pushed my assignment to the side, and I put my head down. At this point, my mom was called into the school because I would not do as I was told. The teacher then decided to talk to my mom and call me where you could hear my mom cheer this woman up and down the other side because someone was being discriminatory towards her child. Then in the 5th grade, I began to be screamed at by my teacher because I was the quiet kid. And he would raise his voice and get all like in my face and tell me I needed to speak louder, and if I didn't, he'd start screaming at me. He would mock me. He would put his hand to his ear and go, "I can't hear you." "Huh? What are you saying?" Which would cause me to be in great stress anytime I went to his class. And this went on almost the entire year to where I didn't care if I passed or not. I didn't care about my grades. I realized that I'm just another student here. The class is filled with 30 students. No one cares. The school system failed me. And the only reason I completed school in public school is because I didn't want to let them win. This is only my elementary school years. This is part 1 of 3, or 4 if you want to hear about my college years.